white people are allowed Wi-Fi?
And her dad went all the way to Australia.
This is going to be the most exciting night of my life.
Hello, I'm Simon Bird, and today I have the great pleasure of reading Zorg Adventures by Sophie M. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! The spaceship shot up into the sky. Are you excited? Danny asked Lena. Yeah, but I'm mostly nervous, Lena replied. I wonder how long it takes to get to the moon, Lena asked as she perked up a little. Lena, I can see it! I can see the moon! Danny shouted, a little too loud. As they drew closer to the moon, they started to notice that something was different. Danny, why does the moon look like that? Lena said. Like what? Danny replied. Lena didn't answer. She thought it was maybe her nerves. Danny and Lena realised that the moon wasn't white anymore, but it was turning black. They thought they should go back to Earth, so Lena pulled the lever to stop the rocket from going too far. But it wouldn't budge. They both felt as if the rocket was being pulled, like it was caught by a magnetic force. The moon was no longer there, and before they could even imagine what was going on, the rocket was being tossed and thrown violently about into darkness. Lena and Danny woke up in a very strange place, and they were both very confused. Ah! Lena yelped. What's that? Danny said with panic in her voice. They realised their spaceship was gone, and they were lying on yellow sandy ground. Lena, what's that? Danny whispered. Lena didn't reply as she was focused on the shape that was moving towards them. As it got closer, it was becoming clearer and clearer that it wasn't a human walking towards them, but a strange creature with a very big head and a very small body. As it drew closer, they could both see that it had long straw hair and horns and eyes on top of its head. Its neck was very long and a dark blue colour, its t-shirt was yellow and its skirt blue, and its legs were like sticks. Danny and Lena helped each other up and tried to run away, but their feet seemed stuck to the floor and they couldn't move. They saw the strange creature getting closer and they tried to shout for help, but they couldn't speak. The creature was getting faster and Danny and Lena were very scared. The creature grabbed them both by the hands and started to fly. They ended up in a strange triangular building. Hello, the creature said in a robotic voice. This is Nautos and I am Zimbia. I am one of the 40 Zorgians on planet Zorg. There are 4 countries on Zorg, Nautos, Naint, Sealor and Nalari, the creature said. Its robotic voice is so high-pitched it was almost impossible to understand. One of its eyes was looking straight at Danny and its other blood-red eye was staring straight at Lena. Here, drink this, Zimbia said, handing them a strange blue liquid. Why should we drink this considering you just kidnapped us, Lena said. And took us to a strange place without telling us where we are, Danny shouted. Shush! Just drink it! It's not safe here, Zimbia whispered. Danny and Lena take a swig from the triangular-shaped bottle, and suddenly Danny's hair turns green, and her face becomes purple and puffy. What's happening? Danny said. And what's happened to my voice? Why has it become so low? She looked over at Lena and saw that her black long hair was almost touching the ground. Ha! Danny said. You look like Cousin It, she hooted with laughter. What have you done? Lena shouted at Zimbia. You have landed on planet Zorg, and I have turned you both into dogs, so you're stuck on planet Zorg forever, Zimbia screeched. What? Lena said. How do you think Zorgians evolved? The end. What an incredible story. Huge congratulations to Sophie M for that, and I can't wait to read more about the planet Zorg in Zorg, the Book of Super Sorcery, written by pupils at Wardie Primary. So yes, huge congratulations to Sophie and to all the authors that have taken part with the Superpower Agency.
Hi there, I'm Lynn Ferguson and I am thrilled to be reading to you today from the book Zorg, the Book of Super Sorcery stories by the P7 class at Wardie Primary. This story is called Mr. Potato's Bounty and it's by Gabriel D. Long ago, in a galaxy far away, on a planet called Zorg, lived a man called Mr. Potato, who lived in the unknown region of the 8th country, which no one knows about. 10 years ago, Mr. Potato and his brother, Mum and Dad were in the Great War, when all 8 countries fought in the war. But the 8th country was blown up into pieces, but survived. Sadly, his mum and dad died in the explosion, although lucky Mr. Potato and his brother survived the explosion. Fast forward, and Mr. Potato is now 22 and has just woken up in bed. He walks down and looks in the fridge and sees that it's empty. Mr. Potato decides to go to the marketplace. He walks to the market and goes to the stalls to buy vegetables, a carrot and a potato and some sausages. Mr. Potato walks to the sauce stand where an old Zorgian stops him and asks if he could help recapture 20 people who have escaped from a maximum security prison. Mr. Potato says, yes. The old Zorgian gave the location on planet Earth. Mr. Potato takes half of his shopping home, grabs his taser and laser gun and hops in his spaceship, the Red Hazmat. He punches in the location and zooms off into space, orbiting Zorg. Mr. Potato punches the light speed button and 2 minutes later arrives in planet Earth's orbit. Mr. Potato presses the camo button. You are probably wondering why Mr. Potato has so many buttons. Well, he needs them to catch his bounty. Okay, back to the story. He lands in Edinburgh and spots the Zorgian. He hops out of the Red Hazmat and sneakily follows the Zorgian, following him to an abandoned warehouse. Mr. Potato used his laser gun to see into the warehouse. Looking into the warehouse, he sees 10 Zorgians. But then a door opens and another 10 Zorgians walk into the warehouse. Mr. Potato hit the jackpot. He found them. He loads his laser gun, ready to fire. Boom! Mr. Potato shoots one Zorgian who is knocked out, but the other Zorgians are alerted by the shot and start to run away. He chases them to a car. They hop in. He hops into a car too and speeds after them. A Zorgian opens the roof of the car and pulls out a sniper gun and starts to shoot at him. Mr. Potato puts his car on autopilot, opens the roof and starts to shoot too. He jumps onto the Zorgian's car, pulls out his laser taser and tasers the Zorgian with the sniper's gun. Smash! The car crashes into the airport. The car drives up to a plane which is starting to take off as the Zorgians jumped onto it. Mr. Potato jumps onto it. The plane starts to fly, climbing slowly. Mr. Potato climbs to the top of the plane as the Zorgians try to hit him. Dodging all their punches, Mr. Potato pulls out his laser gun and shoots all of the Zorgians. The Zorgians slowly fall off the plane as Mr. Potato glides over to his ship and zooms back off to Zorg. Mr. Potato goes up to the old Zorgian and shows him photos of all the prisoners. The old Zorgian gives Mr. Potato his money. He finishes his shopping and goes home to make soup for dinner. The end. Or is it?
Time is Ticking by Freya M. One day, Freya decides she wants to visit the whole of Earth in 1 week. She travels there on a plane, and on the way there she sees Zorg getting further and further away. Freya is so excited to visit a whole new planet. She arrives on Earth and thinks she notices it has a completely different atmosphere to Zorg. She looks around, looking for people to be friends with. She looks everywhere she can, but time is ticking. Freya is only on Earth for 2 more days. Then she has to go back to Zorg. Finally, Freya sees a group of 5 people coming towards her in the distance. She feels really excited and happy because she thinks she's going to make new friends. Freya goes up to the group of 5 and introduces herself. She says, "Hi, I'm called Freya. I live on Zorg, but I came to visit Earth for a week." The whole group says, "Hi," a bit nervously. "That's really cool that you're visiting Earth," they say. Freya says, "But I'm only here for 2 more days." Freya and the 5 people gradually become friends. Time flies by and it's time for Freya to head back to Zorg. She's very emotional about leaving and going back. When she gets back to Zorg, she says to herself, "I really want to go back to Earth."
This is from the book Zorg, the Book of Super Sorcery, written by primary 7 pupils at Wardie School. It's called Babatunde by Stephen G. Babatunde is a very evil man. He really wants to be nice, but the problem is that if he goes outside, the police will arrest him and lock him up. So he wants to go to a different planet to make a new start. He's heard of a planet called Earth, and he wants to go there, but if he does, he can't come back because he has a superpower of teleportation and he can only use it once a year. Babatunde can't ask a friend for help because he doesn't have any. So he decides to go. Only takes 2 minutes to get there. Babatunde spawns into a hotel room and he sees people outside, but then he remembers that he looks different from everyone else because his stomach is a washing machine. He has electric hair and a cube head. Suddenly he remembers that he can bake very well. So he goes around town looking for a bakery. He sees one, but when he goes in, everyone rushes out as soon as they see him, so he looks for another bakery. He finally sees one and it says, "Help needed," outside. So he takes a look and he sees a man inside who looks very sad. He comes in. "Ding," says the bell on the door when it opens. "Hello," says the man in a sad voice. Babatunde comes over and says, "What's wrong?" The man answers, "No one is buying my food because it tastes funny." Babatunde starts to collect ingredients and the man says, "Oh, by the way, my name is Charles. What are you doing?" "It's a surprise," Babatunde replies. He takes the ingredients and he makes an amazing cake. Says Charles. "You like it?" Babatunde asks while Charles is eating. "Yeah, I love it." "Do you want to sell this in my shop?" asks Charles. "Yes, please," says Babatunde in an excitable voice. So they make 3 more and they put them up and they wait and wait and wait, but no one would come in. Suddenly Babatunde has a great idea, and that was to advertise the bakery. So they phone the BBC, Sky, Channel 4, even Nickelodeon, but no one answers. So they take a train to Blackpool to ask the people at Nickelodeon. 2 hours later, at reception, they ask for the Nickelodeon show. "Could we put our advert in it?" "Yes." Is a video on a USB or will you send it by email?" "Oh, we'll send it to you." So Babatunde and Charles go back to the bakery and make a video. They give it to Nickelodeon, who tell them it'll be on every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Now, it's that time now. And today's a Wednesday. So they turn on the TV Yes! Babatunde and Charles shout excitedly when they see the advert. And the next day at 3 o'clock, the bakery is packed full of customers and even a camera crew from the BBC. Charles and Babatunde need more staff, so they put up signs saying lots of help desperately needed. And only 2 people come in for jobs. One was a man called Clark, and one was a woman called Anna. They both bake really well, so the bakery becomes even more popular throughout the weeks. And 5 months later, now the bakery has seats and tables, and Babatunde has even opened a laundrette for his washing machine stomach. Charles has been on television multiple times for his excellent bakery, and Anna is the assistant manager to the bakery, and they rename it Babatunde's Awesome Bakery. Babatunde and Charles are now really famous and rich. The end.